Honestly, go ahead and boycott the Asian businesses. We as Asian businesses could stand to learn the value of the black dollar. And yes, South Asians, I said we. We spent all of last month talking about how we're Asian too. I understand that Rick Chow and his thug-ass son are East Asian, but y'all know damn well that could have been one of y'all's parents. This is exactly what some of us mean when we say y'all need to be raising y'all's parents. That immigrant mindset of come to America, keep your head down, don't bother anyone, they won't bother you. First of all, that's outdated. That's not gonna work. You have to educate yourself on what's going on. Second of all, our parents need to understand what happened in this country, the groundwork that was laid, the work that Black Americans did to give us the rights that we have now. Third of all, you don't get to come here and say you just want to keep your head down and make an honest living and have the American dream and don't cause any waves, but at the same time, uphold anti-blackness and the disenfranchisement of Black Americans. You can't have it both ways. And before any of you want to get in my comments with some slick ass shit to say, talking about fine, okay, if they don't want to shop at our establishments, go get your own dry cleaners, go get your own restaurants, go get your own convenience stores. You are proving the point that's being made, first of all. I'm gonna tell you two things that the Black community have been trying to tell you. You just won't listen. One, Black people don't forget. Black people do not forget. So if you already said some slick ass racist ass shit, you're fucked. I'm sorry. You've already lost them. And that serves you right. Number two, Black people will treat you how you treat them. It is really that simple. And it makes perfect sense. In a country that has sought out to systemically oppress them from jump, I get that they're gonna be weary interacting with different people. They're gonna wanna understand what you think of them and how you want to treat them. Because why would they intentionally subject themselves to that kind of bullshit? But let me also tell you something. When they say social media is the loudest minority, that shit's so real. You can have every single Black person on TikTok come on here and say, I am no longer supporting insert Asian business. And you know what? They could genuinely mean that and they will never set foot in your door. But most people are not.
Black people can become the leadership in the businesses in their communities. But I don't have a lot of hope that Asian Americans are willing to do that because the Asian American business owners that we see currently are not even willing to treat their Black customers as human. So I fully support Black people boycotting these problematic businesses in their community. And I want to say that I think another thing that non-Black people aren't aware of is that it is not as simple as boycotting the businesses and putting them out of business and then opening your own to compete. Because the system will find ways to still not give them the loans or rezone them so they can't open a business or not grant the business licenses. And suppliers are literally conspiring against Black people who have managed to open a business in their own community to not supply to them because they don't want Black people competing with the Asian American owned businesses in the community. So I wish that I had more to offer in the way of solutions, but I really don't. But please do not gaslight Black people with respect to what the issue is.
That there will come a time when Black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough to think for themselves, as other humans are intellectually independent enough to think for themselves. Then the Black man will think like a Black man, and he will feel for other Black people. And this new thinking and feeling will cause Black people to stick together. And then at that point, you'll have a situation where when you attack one Black man, you are attacking all Black men. And this type of Black thinking will cause all Black people to stick together. And this type of thinking also will bring an end to the brutality inflicted upon Black people by white people. And it is the only thing that will bring an end to it.
Everyone, welcome back on my channel. I'm excited to have you today. We're going to take a look at multiple videos of Asian Americans, of how they have reacted about, the boycott of Black Americans, but specifically about how it affected their businesses and the reaction after seeing how this boycott of Black consumers who just stopped shopping from their businesses, how are the Asian Americans reacted to it. We're going to see multiple viewpoints of Asian Americans that they had to say about this boycott. I know, the boycott has taken place and, it has made a big impact, but specifically, we want to look at how the Asian Americans, just took it, or how they thought about it, or even after seeing the impact. Maybe they thought maybe it wasn't going to go as far as it went, but after even seeing how it went beyond the expectation, what did they have to say about that? So we're going to take a look at multiple videos about many Asian Americans, about what they had to say about this boycott and the impact. And I feel like there are so many Asian Americans who has so much to say about it, and I'm going to take a look about it. But as we know, this video is for education purposes. There's nothing against anyone, we want to take a look on, different perspective of people so that we learn from them or we hear from them. So we're going to take a look, and afterwards I'll come back with commenting after see these videos.
The business owner, like the Asian business owners, Chinese, Korean, I never know like which is which when I'm looking at them or talking to them, but they are in an uproar right now. They are so upset because it is said that their businesses are getting boycotted, that their parking lots are empty based off of a not guilty verdict that's recently happened prior to this weekend. And there's a lot of people upset, and people are really upset at the Asian community. I have never ever seen an Asian go off before until today. I have never seen a Korea or a Chinese person go off and just go in so hard until I seen it today on TikTok. These people are pissed. Allegedly, one Asian came back and said that we actually need them, that we can't make it without their businesses. They said everything that we buy is made in China, made in Korea, and so on and so on. The guy basically said that we cannot make it without their products. But yet, I don't think that he completely lied. If you go into our stores, 90% of what's on those shelves in the store, made in China. The next time you go to Walmart, Target, or any of those stores, pick up one of those coffee cups, look at the bottom of it, made in China. Your spoons, knife, and fork set, turn it over and look at it, made in China. The next time you go buy a blanket or something, look at the tag on the blanket, made in China. So they are talking, bro, and these people are pissed because they feel like the boycott is really affecting their businesses. And if it's true, and some of the videos I've seen on TikTok today is true, and they're not made up AI videos, it looks like that boycott is taking effect extremely fast. One lady pulled up to 3 of the nail salons, and every last one of them was empty, man. Now, I don't know if those nail salons open on Sunday. She could have been capping and pulled up on a day that they were closed, but it seems to me like those nail salons are open 7 days a week, man. But them Asians is starting to try to clap back, bro. Y'all better be careful. I ain't never seen an Asian go off like I seen today. It's getting crazy out here, y'all.
You cannot understand Asian American history without understanding Black history. And the sooner you understand why, the sooner you'll stop being a fucking tool. So there's actually a name for this. It's called racial triangulation. And this starts with the stereotypes that white supremacy assigns. Black Americans get hit with racism, and Asian Americans get hit with xenophobia. Want more Asian people to understand that model minority is not a fucking compliment. When people talk about model minorities, it's usually from a place of like, oh, why can't you just like shut up and be like these nice, obedient Asian people? This model minority stuff is a way to like pit Asian people and Black people against each other. It's often used in a way to gaslight into thinking that racism doesn't exist. It's fucking bullshit. Because the second it becomes useful to scapegoat you, it's gonna happen. Case in point, remember the China virus a couple of years ago? Now with this Rick Chow case, this is being framed as some kind of like Asian versus Black issue. The harm is real. The anti-Blackness in Asian communities is real. I am not excusing it, but I think we also need to ask who's benefiting from this dynamic? Who is benefiting when our communities are beefing with each other? The more I dig into this, the more I'm starting to see that it's not random, it's systemic. And I'm gonna speak directly to my fellow Asian Americans. If you believe that, oh, maybe if I just obey the status quo and be a good boy, I'll be accepted. No, stop being a fucking tool. Conditional acceptance is not acceptance. It's control.
Whenever racism is brought up in the Asian American community, there seems to be this knee-jerk reaction to say, well, we're not racist, but we have a lot of racism perpetrated against us. And there's this immediate defensiveness to say, well, I've experienced so much racism in my life and you just don't understand it and you're trying to silence me right now. As if acknowledging that there is anti-Blackness in the Asian community is somehow invalidating any discrimination or racism that individual Asian people have experienced in their life. I think there's 2 parts of this that are interesting to me. One is something I've talked about before, which is that a lot of people in the Asian community don't have the same awareness that, yes, we are people of color, and that we do face racism and prejudice, but in very different ways than members of the Black community do. The second part of this is I wonder if some of this defensiveness is coming from the ways in which a lot of us were socialized and raised to not rock the boat, to be quiet, and to just kind of take whatever it is that's thrown at us. And now that we are adults and we have platforms and we can talk to cameras, a lot of us are really embracing that and really making up for lost time in terms of being able to talk about our experiences and the ways in which we faced discrimination in the past. Unfortunately, a lot of people are using their voice not to stand in solidarity with other communities of color, but to say, I will not be silenced anymore, and I need to be listened to. You will not invalidate my experiences of prejudice or discrimination any longer. It is not incumbent upon the Black community to have grace for and teach that part of our community. If it's incumbent upon anybody, I think it's other members of the Asian community to say, hey, we all know what living as an Asian person in this country feels like. And it's not always easy and it's not always good. But the ways in which racism is perpetrated against members of the Black community is also very different than what we feel. And we just don't know what that's like. And that acknowledgement in no way undermines or threatens your understandings of the racism that you have faced. We can talk about how Rick Chow's acquittal was a manifestation of the racism in the criminal legal system, and that the Black community's outrage over it and what they're calling for is a normal and understandable reaction, while also acknowledging that yes, Asian people do face discrimination and racism too, and that our common goal should be to dismantle the white supremacy that is at the root of all of this.
I saw this thing online of how the Black people are not going to these salons or this. They are seriously boycotting these Asian people. We are not funding them anymore. It's empty. Look at this. I thought it was a joke. Ain't nobody in there. Wow. Look at this. They are not playing. Talking all of that shit about the niggas, and the niggas ain't going in there to buy you nothing. Wow, I thought it was a joke, but they are not playing with these Asian people. Ain't nobody in there. Saying they don't need the black dollar. Uh-huh.
Instead of saying boycott Asian businesses, we're going to say replace Asian businesses. Replace Asian businesses with Black businesses. Instead of even saying Asian boycott, that it should be more of we are using this opportunity to focus on ourselves. Instead of making every other community rich and being the catalyst for their economies, we need to start focusing on how we can do this. And we've lost sight of that because we have become dependent on other people to come into our communities and give us what we want, but they don't give us anything. We give them. So it's important for us, now that we've come to this conclusion, to really capitalize on it. So let's turn it around so they can't say that we're trying to hate them and we're pushing this narrative. We don't hate Asian people. I don't hate Asian people. I don't know about anybody else. Plus, Asian is a big, big word. Asian is a big, big word. You have Korean, Mandarin, Thai, Chinese, all kinds of Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, Filipino. Then you got the Indians that are in Asia. Shit, Russia. Goddamn it. Asia's big. That brush is too big for me to paint that much. I'm going to use this opportunity to start looking for more Black-owned businesses and recycling our dollars in communities where the people live where I live. So I know those dollars are going to come back some kind of way. Instead of saying boycott Asian businesses, we're going to say replace Asian businesses with Black businesses. Replace Asian businesses. Voila, you too. I'm sorry. I love your pierogies and corner store sandwiches, but you gotta go too. Sorry. And to them evil ass Dominican bodega owners in New York City, because when I visited, y'all followed us around the store and we was visiting from Atlanta, San Francisco, and y'all were assholes, complete assholes, and y'all was almost darker than me. Ugh, I hope y'all close. Definitely replace them motherfuckers. I'm not telling you what to do. This is just a suggestion. By no means am I taking away from the fact that Rick Chow murdered and his son murdered Cyrus Belton. I'm not taking that away. You have every right to be angry angry that people come into our community and don't respect us, that they think they're better than us because they have a business and that they're making money from us. They should be at our feet. Also, we should be mad at the system as well, but let's replace it.
After seeing these videos and after taking like a look at multiple like Asian Americans about what they had to say about, you know, this boycott of Black Americans, you know, boycotting their businesses and, you know, starting, you know, to do wealth transfer and starting investing and buying products from Black-owned businesses. Okay, maybe they, after the boycott started, maybe they thought it was going to, you know, maybe it was going to take maybe a short period of time, maybe, but I feel like it have, like the impact is actually so noticeable, like everyone can really see that. And you know, as we have seen, so many people said, you know, maybe like what's the intention about, you know, two communities fighting and how can we go about it? But I feel, as we know, it's always important, even when we say about that, even when we want, you know, communities to unite and, you know, work together. One of the people who was talking about in this video, one of the Asian people was talking about in these videos, said that even the Asian people who, like, you know, establish businesses, you know, in the Black neighborhood, they genuinely need to hire Black people. Because obviously, tell me, why do you have a business in a neighborhood and you cannot hire people? It's, you know, in the business, that's not how it works. Because if you establish a business in a neighborhood, truly you need to hire people from that neighborhood, because if obviously the people in that neighborhood, they are your customers. So as we're coming to the end of our video, I hope you had a good one watching this video, and if you're new here, make sure to like, share, subscribe so that you never miss one of our videos. Have a good one.